Hello everyone, so today I'm here with my dad and he just went back to school a few days ago, so I thought that I would ask him a few questions about his experience. So why don't you start out by telling everyone why you're going back to school?
Yeah, I decided to go back to school. Last time I was there was 1992 and just trying to plan for the long-term future. I've been in the ad tech industry since 2000 and although I love it and it's something that I'm excited about doing right now, long term I need to think about what's the next thing I'm going to do.
So what inspired you to go back to school?
I think there's a few different things. One is this is something I've always wanted to do, but I think going back further, my brother Joe, your uncle, he went back to school after completing a PhD. He went ahead and got a JD degree, which is pretty inspirational. And then that combined with, I think, you applying to schools and you're going to be starting school next fall, I thought, what could be a better time? We could both potentially be the class of 2020. Yeah. So those are the two main inspirations, plus just the main desire that I have to one day do this, and I've been putting it off for long enough.
So what are your goals? What degree are you pursuing and what do you want to do in the future?
Yeah, my plan is to try to help families, so I'm pursuing a master's degree in family therapy. People have asked me if I'm going to go on and get a PhD. That's something I would consider, but I'm going to start with the master's, and yeah, that's my goal: getting a master's degree in family therapy and trying to help families.
So what school are you currently going to, and what classes are you taking?
So I'm starting off this semester taking a couple of prerequisites because my formal master's doesn't start until the fall. I've got 3 classes I need to take, and one of them is just general psych. I took this years ago, but I do need to take it again. And I'm also going to be taking an abnormal psychology class. And in the summer, I'll have to take one additional class before starting in the fall.
So what do you think of the school so far, and how do you compare it to your previous experiences with school and education?
I've only had one class so far. I took it at the College of San Mateo, and it was actually pretty exciting. I was very happy to see I was not the oldest person in the classroom. There were about 30 students. The teacher seemed very energized to teach students, and so I think it's going to be a very positive experience. My last experience in school was at Johns Hopkins. I finished in 1992, and of course I was studying, very intense mathematics and statistics classes, and this is a very different experience.
What is it like going to school with people of all different ages, and in particular millennials and people who are about my age?
It's been interesting. Like I said, I've only had one class. We should talk about this in a couple of months, but seeing different generations in the same classroom has been quite interesting. The behaviors are very different, much more informal, very focused on themselves, I found initially, but again, it's only one class, we'll see.
So have you found your class interesting so far?
I've only had one class, and so far so good. I'm starting to relearn how to study. I'm taking classes at night, and so I only have one class per week, so we try to get an entire week's worth of classes into a single night. So it's actually quite a large amount of material to try to absorb and be ready for the next week.
So how's your studying been going, and what strategies have you been using?
I'm just going back to basics in terms of studying, just reading chapters, looking over my notes, actually taking notes on what I'm reading, and just trying to go over it again and again until it all sinks in.
Have you used any new technology to help you study?
Well, last time I was in school, there wasn't a large amount of people using laptops. Of course, there are no such thing as tablets. And so I do anticipate using tablets and or laptops in the classroom to take notes. In addition, I may use other apps such as Quizlet to study and exercise my brain.
Yeah, so yesterday he was studying and Henry actually showed him how to use Quizlet and he never used it before. What do you think of it?
Pretty cool. I think it's actually going to be quite useful. I like that it's sort of a grassroots community effort to help other people and help themselves. So I like it. I'm definitely going to try it.
So earlier you told me that you didn't really use notebooks or school supplies when you were in high school and in your previous degrees. So are you doing the same thing this time, or do you actually have supplies?
It is true. I didn't have a lot of excellent study skills, but I am making more of an effort. Hey, check it out. I actually have a notebook with actual notes in it, and keeping tracks in binders of syllabus and other materials. So taking a different approach this time. Hopefully it'll prove to be successful.
So lastly, I want to ask you about any advice that you might have for people who are considering going back to school after already having a career for many years?
I think lifelong learning is very important. Knowledge is power. I think being in a school atmosphere is going to keep me younger and in touch with other generations. And so I very strongly recommend anybody just take a class or two at a community college every semester. Just try to keep yourself fresh and keep studying other things. This is not the end for me. I'm intending to study other things after I'm finished studying psychology. So I'm disappointed in myself for waiting 24 years between my last educational experience and this one. So I think everyone should be continuously learning throughout their lifetime.
So I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you have any questions for me or my dad, feel free to leave them in the comments below. You can also follow him on Twitter.
My Twitter is @KPMallon.
So you guys should all follow him on there, and we'll probably do another video once he's done with his classes sometime in the future. So I hope that you all enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next week. Goodbye.